Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, need health insurance? We'll offer an overview of Individual Open Enrollment. Then, giving is good. We'll volunteer to offer you opportunities and options. We're heading towards the end of 2016. We'll give you a heads up about year-end tax tips. Plus, it's unsettling to move a loved one to a nursing home. We'll help everyone settle in successfully. And we'll tell you the truth and consequences of getting married later in life.
It's time to get you going, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. We have an addition to your fall to-do list. Besides raking leaves and cleaning gutters and pulling out your warmer winter clothes, take time to do a checkup on your health insurance. Why now? Doug Bennett is here to explain. Doug is the Director of Individual Health Plans at Medical Mutual of Ohio. Welcome to the show, Doug.
Hi, Lori. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So who is it that should be taking time to take a look at this particular to-do?
So the particular to-do right now would be start with individuals who are already insured through the Affordable Care Act. It's a good time for a checkup for them to review their insurance needs, as well as really almost anybody else. If you're not eligible for Medicare and if you don't have access, let's say, to insurance through your employer, this is a good time to start shopping and figure out what plans might be right for you and your family.
Okay, so how do we find out what the options are available to us?
So that's a great question. I think a lot of people get intimidated by it, and I think the most important thing we try to communicate is you don't have to go at this alone, right? There's a number of different ways. One of the most popular options, people talk to a licensed health insurance broker. These are folks who specialize in the health insurance market. They can take you through the ins and outs of various plans and rates with different insurance companies, help find what's right for you and your family. Another real good option, just call the insurance company themselves. At Medical Mutual, for example, we've got a staff of licensed agents in a call center. You can call our 800 number, and they can take you through all of our plans and find the right fit. And a third option, of course, is more and more people are choosing to shop on a website. They like to do this on their own, right? And you should be able to, at medmutual.com or with other carriers, enroll, pick your plans all without any intervention if that's the way you choose.
Okay, so as we're comparing these plans, what do we have to keep in mind?
So there's a variety of things to keep in mind. First is cost. Most people are shopping with their wallet. That's an important piece. The real basic rule of thumb is you can choose to pay the higher premiums on a monthly basis, and then if and when you need services, you'll spend a little bit less out of pocket on things like deductibles and copays. What's becoming more popular, individuals are choosing to pay a little bit lower monthly premiums, and then they'll have higher out-of-pocket costs on those deductibles and copays if and when they need to use the services. The other most important thing, and a lot of people, it's not just the benefits. Check the network. Different insurance companies are going to offer a different panel of hospitals and physicians that you can utilize. We want to make sure that people are investigating that their doctors and hospitals are in the network.
Yeah, you want to see your doctor.
That's right, so they don't get a surprise when they need the care.
Right. So what if we like the plan that we're on? Can we just let it sort of roll over at the beginning of the next year?
So it isn't what we recommend for a variety of reasons. First, if you're already insured, there's a good chance, though, that there'll be some changes to your plan, right? The carrier might make some changes. So we think it's a good idea to go out and take a look at what those changes will be, make sure it's still the right fit. The other thing is, if you're getting a subsidy today, some help from the government with your premium, or to find out whether you're eligible for a subsidy, those numbers change year to year.
Okay.
So also a good idea to go tune in and figure out whether or not those are the right fits for you. We're amazed. Literally millions of people are still missing out on subsidy opportunities. You qualify for a subsidy, anybody with an income between 139 and 400% of the federal poverty level. And we find people to be surprised that they qualify based on their income. They're surprised that they qualify for some help and they're missing out on that opportunity.
Wow, why turn away free money, right?
Exactly.
What if we just end up not getting insurance for the coming year?
So you could run into that problem, and where you have to be careful is if you don't meet some of these deadlines that we're going to talk about, you may not be able to get coverage the rest of the year. You're going to have a special qualifying event, they call it, something like a birth, getting married, maybe loss of coverage through an employer. The other thing to be concerned with is the tax penalty. The Affordable Care Act requires you to have insurance, and if you don't, you can be subject to an income tax penalty up to 2.5% of your income for the year.
Boy.
Plus you don't have the insurance that you need.
Wow. Okay. So we got some deadlines real quickly.
Yep. The deadlines, most important one, December 15th,
Okay.
right? By December 15th, you're covered for January 1st. If you miss those dates, you've got two choices. December 31st gets you a February 1st effective date. By January 31st, you get a March 1st effective date.
All right, important dates. So you still have time to make this important decision. So use it to make the best one for you, your family, and your health. If you need help in understanding your health insurance options, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Doug Bennett for putting us on his to-do list for today.
Thanks, Lori.
Find out more about Medical Mutual of Ohio by visiting www.medmutual.com/go or call 1-844-606-5387. Next, giving till it helps. But first, Election Day is this Tuesday. But why are Tuesdays always the to-do day for voicing our votes? We'll nominate an appropriate explanation and return with the results.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
The first Tuesday after the first Monday in November was voted in as the official election day in 1845. Why did this date win? The answer is agriculture. By November, farmers were finished with harvesting. A Tuesday gave them some travel time, and their midweek Wednesday market day didn't have to be moved.
'Tis the season to unwrap your untapped abilities and give the gift of your time and talent. So where do you start? By peeking at the pages of the November-December issue of Northeast Ohio Boomer and Beyond. Maria Lim is here to give us a preview of this jam-packed edition. Maria is the editor of Northeast Ohio Boomer and Beyond. So welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So this issue gives us a lot of great ideas, including volunteering opportunities.
Right. That's such an important thing, especially for people 50 and older. They tend to have a little more time on their hands. They're not raising children. And Northeastern Ohio has great opportunities for people who want to give of their time.
All right. So you have a to-do guide on how to find those opportunities, right?
Yes, we're running a story on how to find the best volunteer fit for your time, your talent, your money. Some people have a ton of time. So, you know, there are certainly organizations that could use a lot of your talents in that way. Other people are more comfortable working from home, perhaps, or they just simply don't have a lot of time, or they have time in segments. For example, they can work only in the summertime. So maybe volunteering at a community garden is a good option for them. Others are better at food giveaways around the holidays, so that sort of thing.
Okay. The theme of the issue actually is give.
It is.
Right? So, and that can include giving yourself the gift of a trip.
Right. Oh, that's selfishly, that's always a fun thing to do. We have a travel writer who's focused on 3 easy trips within driving distance of Northeastern Ohio that really will help get you in the holiday spirit. We send you to Ellicottville, New York, which is a very picturesque town between 2 ski resorts. Frankenmuth is huge for shoppers who really want to get their Christmas fix on. That's a ton of fun.
Got that Christmas store.
It is, and so many people go there and have really enjoyed that. And then also you can go to Ogle Bay for, if you want to get your light fix. That's the place to go in West Virginia. So.
All right, sound like great trips.
Yeah.
And you have help also for giving the gift of hospitality during the season.
Right. You know, holidays are when everyone seems to make time to get together, and that's so important. But it can be also intimidating if you're not a natural entertainer or if you don't have a lot of money to spend. So we have a story running on how to affordably entertain people for the holidays. And so it's a great way to
What are some of those
approach
tips?
it. Well, you can do an appetizer bar. An open house is nice because you don't get a crush of people in at one time, so people can come and go as they please. Also, there are tips on little fun things, like you could take photos of your guests and give those as a little follow-up gift afterward. So yeah.
All right. Any ideas for weathering the winter weather?
Weathering the winter weather. Yes, we've got some tips on how to weatherize your home. We've got a story running on that, and also how to some indoor gardening tips for the winter.
And places to go and things to see?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So.
All right, sounds like a great issue. Northeast Ohio Boomer and Beyond magazine is the gift that keeps on giving, and it's free. You can find it at hundreds of locations around our area, including fitness facilities, senior centers, doctor's offices, retail stores, libraries, and even more. My thanks to Marie for gifting us with so many great ideas this month.
Thank you.
For more information, call Northeast Ohio Boomer and Beyond at 330-822-4011. Email them at info@northeastohioboomer.com or like them on Facebook, www.facebook.com/NEOhioBoomer. Next, the clock is ticking on 2016 taxes. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. If you're a veteran, it's all aboard for a free ride on the Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad on Veterans Day, this Friday, November 11th. Veterans and their families can ride the rails for this 2-hour trip, enjoying the scenery of the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. To enlist for this adventure, call 1-800-468-4070 for details, or visit www.cvsr.com.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. The 2016 tax clock is quickly counting down to the year's end. But there are still things you can do now to offset your taxes later. Mark Sipos is here with top tips. Mark is the tax services accountant at the Lineweaver Financial Group. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you actually have 10 tips total, but we're only having to have time to talk about a few of them.
Okay.
So the first one is charitable deductions.
Yes, many of these tips are tried and true. Nothing new here, but very effective at the year end. One unique thing about the donating is to consider donating appreciated property such as stocks or real property to the charitable donation organization. In that way, you get the double benefit of being able to deduct the asset at the fair market value and never having to pay the tax on the appreciation.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's important. How about number 2, which is lost harvesting? So we're gathering our losing investments together for reporting?
Yes, the losses can also save you money. So you might as well get some benefit from the loss. The capital gains that you have during the year can be offset dollar for dollar with any losses you have. So at this time of year, you may want to look at your portfolio and see what kind of unreal losses you have, sell those investments, and offset any tax you may have on the capital gains.
Wow, so going in next year, you pay a little bit less.
That's right.
All right, number 3, which is bunch your itemized deductions.
Yes.
What in the world is that?
Well, the IRS allows you to have either the standard deduction or itemized deductions on your tax return each year. They keep raising the standard deduction, so it becomes harder and harder, especially for older citizens, to reach that. So itemized deductions are things such as out-of-pocket medical, real estate taxes, state and local income taxes, mortgage interest, and charitable donations. So what we do is suggest that you alternate year to year and kind of accelerate the expenses into the previous year. So for example, in 2016 in December, you may want to pay your real estate tax bill that's due February of 17. Get it into, get it into this year so you maybe get over that threshold. And you can do that with state and local estimates that are due in January. perhaps you have a large organization you donate to regularly, so maybe you accelerate that into December. I'm sure they'd be happy to take the money quicker
Absolutely.
anyways.
Anytime.
Right.
Number 4 has to do with RMDs, which is required minimum distributions
Yes.
from your IRA. So, I mean, how do you save money? They're taxable. How do you actually do anything with that?
Well, the IRS is actually nice in this case. They allow taxpayers that are 70 and over to use that as a charitable deduction tool and not include it as their income. They're very specific, though. You have to take your RMD directly from your IRA and transfer it directly to the charitable organization. And that way you do not have to include it in your income, and you don't have to itemize it like you normally would for an expense.
So it's kind of an automatic thing as long as the IRS sees it went from IRA to charity?
Yes. Actually, the 1099 that comes each year, the 1099-R for the RMD, will have a special code, so the IRS lets the IRS and your tax preparer know that that's what you've done.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
And there's lots more tips, and you're
Yes.
going to share those tips, right, coming up at a complimentary seminar. So tell us about that.
Yeah, it's a free seminar that we give annually for taxes, and it's on Tuesday, November 15th at 1, and again on Thursday, November 17th at 6 o'clock. And it's free of charge. We have snacks and beverages as well.
And you got to call to make a reservation.
And please call to make a reservation ahead.
I bet you'll get lots of calls on that.
I hope so.
Don't let the clock run out on tax savings for 2016. Follow Mark's advice, and for more help, attend one of the complimentary seminars, or just give him a call. The number's next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net. Up next, making everyone feel at home.
It's time to get up and go, an exercise segment on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're here to show you how to work the lower abdominals and even the hip flexors. This is an excellent exercise. It's going to help strengthen that core everybody's talking about. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, we're going to start lying flat on the ground. Here in the studio, we have our exercise mats out. You at home, go ahead, grab a spot on the floor and try this one out. We're going to lay flat. Make sure you keep your head back. We want our hands to the side just for a little support. And all we're going to do is we're going to keep our right leg nice and stiff, and we're going to bring it up to about a 90-degree angle, okay? We're going to drop it back down right before it touches. Try to bring it straight back up. All right, we're going to shoot for 12 to 15 repetitions, and then we can go ahead and switch sides. Excellent. How you feeling, Lori?
Oh, feel the burn.
There
Stretch.
you go.
Yes.
You're on your way to a stronger core. All right, slow and controlled movements, everybody. Remember to breathe. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
You've done your homework, you researched, you visited, you interviewed, and then you decided on the right nursing home for your loved one. Not an easy task, but your work isn't over. Dr. Shirley Ratner joins us in the Metro Health studio with important advice for after the move. Dr. Ratner is a clinical psychologist with Metro Health. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So you found a great place, mom and dad successfully moved in. What else is there left to do?
Right. Well, at this point, what you want to do is make sure that they're adjusting well. So while you don't want to walk in and interrogate them, there are some important questions that you want to ask them as they're settling in. So some of the questions are you comfortable? Is there anything worrying you? Do you feel safe? Do you feel respected? When you call for help, how long does it, is it before somebody responds? You also want to observe if they're making friends. Social interaction is very important. Are they exercising, getting physical help, and do they like the staff?
Okay, and speaking of the staff, you have some questions for the staff as well, right?
That's right. It's would be helpful if you can find a staff member that your loved one has connected with. And if there is somebody they've connected with, that's who should be your go-to, because they will then be able to work with your loved one who feels comfortable with them.
Mm-hmm. So what are the kind of questions for the staff?
Okay, so the kinds of questions that you want to ask are, after the initial adjustment, do they seem depressed? Ask them about the daily routine. What time do they get up? How they fill their time? Are they interacting with others? Are the meals being prepared appropriately for their diet? Are they taking their medication? And are there any, special issues? How are they being handled?
Okay, and you say that a little appreciation with the staff goes a very long way.
Absolutely. The staff work very hard. So saying thank you and being respectful goes a long way. While you should feel comfortable being able to call them anytime, it is helpful to say, when is a good time to call? Also make sure that they have a phone number where they can get to you promptly if there is an issue. Also, share with them anything personal about yourself or your loved one that might help them. And, if there are issues, don't be afraid to bring them up. If there was an incident, ask how it was handled and if any changes were made.
Okay, and if you have more concerns, what do you do?
Well, don't settle for anything less than what you need to know. And if necessary, go up the chain of command.
Okay, any other advice?
Well, it is important that every time you come to visit them, come with a fresh new eyes. Pay attention, is it clean? Are there any unsettling smells? How's the lighting? Is it a peaceful environment? Because remember, your loved one is there all the time. So the atmosphere can really impact their mood. And overall, if you're worried, just remember that they are adjusting, so try to keep some optimism. But if you really are still feeling unsettled, most nursing homes do have support groups and resources. I recommend using them because it's always good to see what other people in your shoes have done to cope with the stress of helping a loved one adjust.
Wow. As always, great tips.
Thank you.
As Metro Health says, change is healthy. And while this particular change is challenging, you've done a great job of finding a healthy, caring place for your mom or dad. But don't stop now. Follow Dr. Ratner's advice to make sure this place remains the best place as time goes on. My thanks to Dr. Ratner for joining us today.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or log on to www.metrohealth.org. Next, the blessings and burdens of later in life love.
Let's all wake up to better health. Walk, run, fly, find a partner, an ally, a Metro Health doctor who will listen as long as it takes so you can celebrate every day by living it your way. Get your physical, checkup, regular screening at Metro Health and wake up every day to better health. Change is healthy.
What if you marry later in life? How does that impact you legally and financially? Here to discuss some of these issues is my law partner, Michael Solomon. So welcome back to the show. Some people get married later in life as a second marriage or even sometimes as a first marriage. What should they really be thinking about when they're making this important step forward in their life?
Well, Laura, there are a lot of legal issues you need to consider, whether it's a first marriage later in life or a first or second or third or fourth, et cetera. So there are all sorts of legal things you need to think about.
Okay, well, let's just focus on first and second marriages then. So what's the first issue?
Well, let's talk about, let me do three in my time. So the first issue is maybe over the years you built up some wealth and you want to be able to pass it on to your children, maybe from a first marriage or nieces or nephews. And if you are going to get married, you might want to consider a prenuptial agreement. That's an agreement that prior to the marriage that says, on my death, here's how my assets go, or if I get a divorce, here's how my assets go. And this could be really important because if you don't do that and you pass away under Ohio law, the surviving spouse can inherit between a third and 1/2 of your probate estate, notwithstanding what your will says. Or under federal law, the surviving spouse inherits your 401k and possibly some of your other pension benefits. So those are issues you need to address. And also, even real estate in Ohio, you can't sell your real estate if if you're married unless your spouse signs off. So these are all issues you need to think about.
Yeah, big issues so far. But what's issue number 2?
Issue number 2, this is a big one. We've talked about this on the show. If you're married and one of you goes into a long-term care facility, the community spouse can only keep a certain amount of assets. A married couple, it's a little over $119,000 plus up to 1/2 of your assets, plus your house. And we've talked a lot about this on the show, but that's a big factor, and a prenuptial agreement won't solve that problem.
Oh, Medicaid ignores that.
That's right.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully it's not all bad. Please tell me there's something good about potentially later in life marriages.
Okay, well, here's one that might help. Let's say you've been a low wage earner all these years. If you marry, eventually you might qualify for your spouse's Social Security benefit, which could be higher. But even that can backfire, because if you're divorced, maybe your prior spouse had a better Social Security benefit, and you could lose that. Or maybe you're receiving alimony or some other pension benefit, you might lose that if you get remarried.
So there's lots and lots of things we got to think about.
That's right.
Oh, man. All right. So if you're considering a second marriage or a marriage later in life, there are a lot of financial and legal issues you have to consider. You should sit down with your attorney and your financial advisor and think about all of these issues before you make that very important decision. If you need help, give Mike a call. The number is next.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, have you ever heard of a peer room? We'll be perfectly clear on how these can help your health. Then, an exhibit on aviation has landed. Where? At the Cleveland International Airport, of course. Buckle up for a historic ride from automotive to aeronautics. And charity starts at home. We'll offer pre-holiday help for the best way to give, relatively speaking. But until then, till next week when we come back for all these tips and more, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.